My goal is make sure that this will not finish and open up Villa d'Este to the youngest generation.
Italians are so well known for their incredible fashion, and Giorgio Armani is one of your icons. Fashion, fragrance, food, the Vespers. There's so much style that's come out of Italy.
Villa d'Este became one of the places that everybody wanted to visit. So we have so many repeat guests coming, Alla Gardner, Elizabeth Taylor, Robert Mitchum.
Hello, my name is Renae Leith-Manos. Welcome to this podcast, Where to From Here, featuring conversations about luxury travel and how it's changing in every pocket of the globe.
So welcome, Davide. It's wonderful to have you on the show. And you're sitting today in Villa d'Este, one of the most iconic properties in Europe as well as in Italy. Now, what makes this property so incredible and so lauded in the luxury travel industry?
Thank you very much, Renee. First of all, thank you for having me. That's a very good question. I believe Villa d'Este being one of probably the oldest hotels in Italy, the heritage and this timeless elegance that has been probably the trademark of the property over the past few years. Well, few years, I would say 150 years, because we are celebrating 150 years this year.
That's only a few years in Italy.
It's only a few years, but if you think, Renee, that prior these 150 years, there are another 300 years as a private residence. So the building itself is a little bit over 450 years old. You look at the size of the building, you look where it stands, and you say, gosh, this place has been in here for 450 years. The location where it decided to build the building that enjoys the sun like 3/4 of the day. From the morning until, dawn, the sun goes around and the place is immersed in the sun.
So tell me about the renovation at the end of the year.
No, there's no renovation. I mean, we are renovating this new addition, Renee. The villa we just purchased, which is a beautiful 25,000 square feet of villa built at the end of 1800. And we are very much looking forward, because that will provide amazing extra location right on the lake, beautiful rooms. And then we are considering adding extra F&B outlets, and then melting all that, the two gardens getting together, because Villa d'Este lives out of, gardens. I mean, people enjoy staying outside. It's one of the peculiarity of it. The summer season, everybody's sitting on the terraces, enjoying, the breakfast, and then the lunch, and then the aperitivo, and then the dinner, because you are right on the water.
How magnificent. And David, tell us about your career. What was it that made you go into hospitality?
It's a funny question, Renee, because everybody keep asking me. I don't know what it was. I know that my father was in the hospitality. And as a young child, maybe because I was a terrible child, I don't know, maybe I wasn't a terrible child, but he used to bring me with him when he was traveling around Italy. And at the time, he was working for a company, great Italian company, which is called Rocce Hotels, then after acquired by other companies. And I remember at the time I was like 9 years old, 10 years old, and he was leaving me in the hotel. So the staff was looking after me, and he was going out to do business. So basically I was spending my day inside the hotel, the guest side of the hotel, and then the back of the house. And I just loved it. I remember me looking at the staff members, the team members with these beautiful uniforms, and I was like, thinking, wow, look at this world, look how people are elegant and everything seems to be so special. Special at the point that immediately after finishing my studies, and I will always be thankful to my father, he basically put me, I wouldn't say he kicked me out from my house. I mean, he did it gently. But he said, okay, you need to leave, you need to make your own career. At the time I was, I think, 18, just turned 18 or 19 years old. He put me on the plane and he sent me to England because he wanted me to start learning, languages. But he decided to send me to the northern part of England, Liverpool. Now, Liverpool in the 80s was a very funky place, I have to say. First of all, because I didn't speak a single word of English.
Right.
And in Liverpool, they have this very special accent.
Yes.
So it made it a little bit difficult for me to, familiarize with it and then start learning. But it was the time of my life, because imagine a young Italian coming from a small village, sent in the northern part of England by myself. So either you learn it or you're done.
Yes.
And that's how I started. I mean, I met fabulous people over there.
Who were you working for? Which chain were you working for in that first job?
At the time, I think it was like a brewery that owned some hotels called Whitbread. I'm not even sure it exists.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
But I started as a commie. I was like a runner in this restaurant, dressed like a sailor. And I was clearing the tables. Obviously, I couldn't serve because I couldn't communicate. So the only thing I could have done at the time was like helping, the servers. And I wanted to find my own place to live in there. So I found a second job. So on weekends, after the service, I was going into this nightclub and work in a cloakroom. And that allowed me to get these extra pounds that allowed me to find an apartment outside the town. I wanted my freedom. But all this, Renae, has always been a motivation for me to grow and to do better. And because maybe the way I am, I think I'm pretty extroverted as a person. So I always progressed in my life because of this curiosity of being with people and meeting people and being different culture, enjoying different, way of thinking, a different approach of life. And automatically, don't ask me how I move from a place to another, because it came just naturally.
I was about to ask you, I mean, I've got some of the countries here, America, Singapore, Morocco, Africa, Europe, just to name a few. I mean, they're Dubai, very diverse locations.
Yes. I think it was must have been a natural desire to evolve. And something I always said is, I think in my life, it would be a shame not seeing as much as possible and meeting as many people as possible. Because there is so much out there. Everything.
I agree. And tell me, one of the things in your life that I want to ask about is the Armani Hotel in Dubai, because of course Italians are so well known for their incredible fashion, and Giorgio Armani is one of your icons. What was it like opening that property in Dubai for you?
It was an amazing experience, because we are talking about the tallest building in the world.
Right.
And actually seeing it built in, because I was in there when I moved to Dubai, they were still building the tower. So the organization behind that, the speed of doing one floor per week they were doing. And I never saw something like that. I mean, that was something really amazing. I traveled for many months looking for the perfect employees. As a matter of fact, I was in Jakarta as well, looking for employees. Every operation unit for me had a face. For example, we went to East Africa for the doorman because we wanted tall, beautiful people outside welcoming the guest. We did
Wow.
Asia for, the guest relation part, the lifestyle manager, and the spa, the wellness bit. We did Italy and France for the kitchen. We did India because, the place had, if I remember well, about 11 restaurants. So we had 11 different culinary experiences.
And being Italian, I mean, you were opening the Armani Hotel. Why do you think so many classically beautiful things, as I said, fashion, fragrance, food, the Vespers, there's so much style that's come out of Italy. Why is that, do you think?
Good question, Renae, because I was talking about this with some friends, like not long ago. And, now that I'm becoming more mature and being a totally lover of Italy, and I can be a lover because I lived almost 25 years of my life abroad, and I always defended my country. Sometimes I see Asian people which are really very correct, they respect everything, they respect the rules, they are in time. We are not. And we cannot be like that. We cannot be precise, we cannot be organized.
It's such a contradiction because from the outside, Italians are so sexy, well presented, confident. We would never guess the things that you're saying Italians are disorganized.
We are
chaotic.
artists. I think there is something in our mind that makes us special. We wouldn't be like that if we would be too precise, if we would be too, really, we can't follow the rules. Let me put it this way. I know it sounds awful, but I think we have this artistic mind, artistic approach to life that make us the way we are. And smart as well, because everybody loves the Italian food, for example. Let's talk
globally.
About
There is no country in the world without an Italian restaurant, right? Without pizza and without pasta. No country in the world. I can't think of one. And tell me, in Italy and the world, because you have literally, lived all over the place, how has luxury changed, particularly in the last few years? What are your customers and clients at Villa d'Este and your other hotels? What are they asking for that they haven't asked for before? And how are you seeing the big changes there?
I think luxury now having the time to travel around. There is this phobia from all the people in enjoying all the time you have lost over the past 2 years. So that's the real luxury. The possibility of having time for yourself and the family and the friends, jump on the train, jump on a plane, jump wherever you want to jump, and have the time to enjoy everything you have missed out.
And now that we have moved on, where are you personally traveling to? And do you like to travel in luxury?
Okay, you probably would not believe, Renae, when I travel, and going back to the previous question, it doesn't look like, probably you're not going to believe me, but I'm an extremely simple person. I try to stay away from hotels like Villa d'Este as much as I can, because daughters keep telling me that I always work. So every time I enter in an hotel and I can enjoy time with friends and family, I keep looking around and I keep checking things.
You're working. You're working again.
This keen eye, and I try to get ideas. I try to find defaults, and I cannot relax. Ideally, love to spend time traveling. I love to be in places that have nothing to do with something similar to Villa d'Este. Mainly, I rent houses. I like to spend time by the sea, for example. I haven't been traveling outside Italy for pleasure since over a good year, I would say.
Yeah, it's a very good value system. Look, it's wonderful talking to you, Davide. And before we go, where to from here for you?
Well, I think I took a great challenge. Again, as I was saying to you before, Renae, I decided to move and join Villa d'Este Hotels because being one of the most iconic properties in the world with such a fantastic history, I saw myself, okay, let me do this last one, and strengthen Villa d'Este position, elevate Villa d'Este, bring it on top of the world, like being number one in the world, and move it, prepare it for the next generation. You see, Villa d'Este has been enjoying amazing clientele. If I have to tell you or list the name of the people who stay, which actually, Renae, on the 28th of June, we celebrated the 150th season of Villa d'Este. So we threw a magnificent party. And the cool part is that at some point during the event, we projected on the facade of Villa d'Este black and white, about 4 minutes. So it was a small portion, starting from 1873, the year when the hotel turned into an hotel. Some of the people that stayed in Villa d'Este. And it was so emotional. I mean, just name them. From Ava Gardner, Elizabeth Taylor, Robert Mitchum, name it, and Rita Hayworth, all these people. And since that year, Villa d'Este became one of the places that everybody wanted to visit. So we have so many repeat guests coming since over 40 years. I mean, I'm meeting them on a daily basis. My goal is make sure that this will not finish and open up Villa d'Este to the youngest generation. I want the youngest generation not to forget what formalities, what places like this are. There are so many beautiful hotels opening today around the world. Every day there is something new with modern approach, with technology, with so many perks that obviously people like my daughters who will probably enjoy much more. But I don't want the younger generation to forget what Villa d'Este is. So where I want to go is make sure that Villa d'Este will last forever. So I really would like to give another 150 years to this villa. Obviously doing some touch up because she's an old lady. So preserve it and make sure that people after me and after my daughters will still enjoy a place like this because it's really magical. If you manage to come to Lake Como, Renae, and you manage to come and pass by and stay with us, you will understand what I mean. It's a magical place. You cannot describe it. You need to live it. And
it's on my list. It's on my list. I would love to come.
You have to. And so this is for me my goal, medium long term, I would say.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully I might meet you in Villa d'Este at some stage. And thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you, Renae. Thank you. Thank you. Ciao.
Bye, David.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Don't forget to subscribe here and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for regular travel updates. You can also hear our episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.